it was kind of wonderful, actually. Went well. Yeah, I can't complain, Baruch Hashem. Not as great as I hoped, but way better than I expected. So definitely.
I'm looking at where we left off, and I'm not able to find my notes.
Oh, you see, that's it. You're slacking. You're not serious anymore.
Yeah, no, chapter 20, I think, is where we left. It was.
I think we finished 20, and now we're in 21.
21, correct.
So, Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, chapter 21. Ktiv, and it's written, Umipri ha'etz, and from the fruit of the tree, asher betoch hagan, that is within the garden, inside the garden. On that we're going to discuss. Tana, we learned in the Mishnah. Tana means we learned it in the Mishnah. Rabbi Zeira Omer, when we say Tana, we mean that we learned it, and that is a learning that is equal to the learning of the Mishnayot. Means that it was said in the same generation of the Mishnayot. Rabbi Zeira Omer, Rabbi Zeira said, Mipri ha'etz, from the fruit of the tree. What does it mean? He's learning from that combination of words, Mipri ha'etz, from the fruit of the tree. En ha'etz hazeh ela adam. That tree is nothing else but the man himself. He's not talking about the physical tree. He's talking about the man, shenimshal ka'etz, that was compared to a tree. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Ki adam etz hasadeh. The man, he is the tree of the field. Now, what does it mean? Asher betoch hagan, it's written that it was inside the garden, not to eat from the fruit of the tree that was inside the garden. En betoch hagan, there's no other intention to the word, no other meaning to the words betoch hagan, within the garden, inside the garden, ela leshon nekiya. Any other explanation except for to say something in a clean way. He wanted to say something uncomfortable in a clean way. Mashe betoch haguf, that is within the body, something that is inside the body of the person, something you don't want to mention. So you say betoch hagan, inside the garden. When you're talking about the man, you're talking about inside the man, inside his body. Asher betoch hagan, that is inside the garden. Asher betoch ha'isha, that is inside the woman. Ve'en gan el ha'isha, the garden is no other than the woman. The man ate from the fruit of the tree, and the tree is the man. Asher betoch hagan, that is within the garden, within the woman. The sin was about their connection, about their intimacy. Shenimshela legan, because the woman was compared to the garden. Shene'emar, that it was said in Shir Hashirim, Gan na'ul achoti kala, a locked garden, my sister, my bride, like the woman that she is a sister, means of our nation, that she is a bride, that she is ready to be married, that she is already married. Ma haginazo, what we learned about that garden, kol ma shenizre'a hi tzomachat u'matzi'a, everything that she was planted, she will grow and bring out. You put apples, apples will grow. You put mandarins, mandarins will grow. You put wheat, wheat will grow. Kach ha'isha hazot, the woman is the same. Kol ma shenizre'a harav ve'yoledet miba'ala, when she was seeded by her husband, she been conceived and gave birth. Ba eleha ve'ibera, he came to her, and she was conceived at Cain, with Cain. Ve'achar kach, and later on, ibera et Hevel, he came to her, and she been conceived with Hevel, Abel. Shene'emar, ve'ha'adam yada et Chava ishto, and the man knew Chava, his wife. Ma'u yada, what is the meaning of the word yada, knew? What does it mean that he knew? Shaita me'uberet, that she was conceived, she was pregnant. Vera'ata dmuto, and she saw his figure, shelo haya min hatachtonim, ela min ha'elyonim. She saw the figure of her child, that he was not from the lower ones, from the underneath ones, from the lower ones, means from regular human beings, ela mina elyonim, just from the uppers, from the angels, from the spiritual ones. Her child was in great holiness. Vehibita ve'amra, and she saw, and she said, Kaniti ish et Hashem, I bought that man from Hashem. He's divine, he's an angel, Cain. He's from Hashem, he's from the uppers, he's from the Elyonim. Rabbi Ishmael Omer, so based on that explanation, the unity of the man and his wife was in a sin. It was in a way that was defined in the verses as a crime. Chet etz hada'at. In the garden, between the man and his wife, there was some kind of violation in their intimacy, and that was the sin. No apple, no tree. Rabbi Ishmael Omer, Rabbi Ishmael said, Misham alu v'nityachsu, from there, from that place, soon we will understand what he refers to. Alu, came up, v'nityachsu, and related to, means were chained in legacy, dynasty. Kol dorot hatzadikim, all the generations of righteous people. All the righteous people were chained down from that pregnancy, from that connection. Umikain, I'm sorry. Oh, not Misham, Mishem. Okay, now I understand. Okay, my mistake. The way I read it was wrong. The vowels I put to the word Misham is not Misham, is Mishem, from Shem. Again, I said from there, from that situation, from that pregnancy, that's what I said. That was all a mistake, all wrong. Why? Because the word Misham is not Misham, not from there, is Mishem, from Shem. Shem, the son of Noach. So, Mishem, Rabbi Ishmael Omer, Rabbi Ishmael said, Mishem, from Shem, the son of Noach, Alu v'nityachsu kol dorot hatzadikim, came up, and their dynasty began with him, with Shem. Of whom? Of all the true righteous ones, of all the generations of righteous people. Umikain, and from Cain, Alu v'nityachsu, came up, and they're the beginning of the dynasty, Kol dorot hareshaim, of all the generations of evil people, all the wicked ones, Hamordim ve'aposh'im, the rebellious ones and the criminals. Bamarom, at heavens, to the above, the sinners who are sinning against spirituality, against Hashem, against upper worlds. Ve'omrin, and they're saying, claiming, En anu tzrichim לטיפת גשמך. We don't need the drops of your rains. We don't need your water, they're claiming. שנאמר, that it's written in Eov, ויאמרו לאל סור ממנו. And they said to God, move away from us. Reject yourself from us. We don't need you. Rabbi Meyasha Omer, Rabbi Meyasha said, Nolad Cain, when Cain was born, Veteomato imo. He had a female twin sister with him. Nolad Hevel, Hevel was born, Veteomato imo. And his twin sister was born with him. Amar le Rabbi Ishmael, Rabbi Ishmael said to Rabbi Meyasha, והלא כבר נאמר, but it's written, ואיש אשר ייקח את אחותו בת אביו, that there is a prohibition for a man to take his sister, the daughter of his father. How can you say that Cain married his sister and Hevel took his sister? Amar le, from that, Rabbi Meyasha is answering, from that, מתוך הדברים האלה, from those words, תדע, you should know, תדע לך, you should know, שלא היו נשים אחרות בעולם, that there were no other women in the world. They didn't have a choice. That was the choice that Hashem left for them. That's what Hashem set for them. שיסעו להם, for them to marry. והתירן להם, and they were permitted. Even though later on in the generations, it will be considered as a violation. But because there was no other woman back then, they were permitted. מה?
אני חייב עזרה.
אבל אני עובד
החתול הזה,
זה לא משנה.
תגיד לי מה לעשות, אני אעשה, אבל אני לא יודע מה לעשות.
אבל אתה מבין?
מה עושים?
לא, שמים אותו ליד הפח.
ולתת לו למות.
כן, כן. ככה זה הבורא, הוא לוקח את הנשמות. זה לא שלך, זה לא החלטה שלך.
Everything all right?
Yeah, they're involving me in situations that I like. They found a cat and now he's dying, and what to do with the dying cat? I told him, Hashem is taking the souls, it's not your job. Like, okay, so what? I just let him die? Yes. Put him aside, let him die. Yeah, what? No. Something else. What's the other option? So they were permitted because of that fact. ועל זה נאמר, and on that the verse said, in Tehillim, כי אמרתי, Hashem said, עולם חסד ייבנה. A world of kindness will be built. What does it mean, a world of kindness? What's the connection between kindness to marrying his own brother because he didn't have a choice? His own sister, his own sister because he didn't have a choice. What's the connection? בחסד נברא העולם עד שלא ניתנה תורה. The world was set based on kindness until the Torah was given. Before the Torah was given, Hashem is forgiving all the sins all the time, because you cannot consider them even as sins because there was no Torah, no commandments. So there's no violations. It's all based on kindness. Means the mercy of Hashem, mercifulness of Hashem, to let everyone go with all their mistakes. Continue forward until the Torah came. And now there's trial. Now there are rules, there are halachot, and we need to apply. Rabbi Omer, Rabbi means Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. His name is Rabbi. He said, Cain veHevel te'omim hayu. Cain and Hevel, they were twins. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Vatahar vateled et Cain. She, his mother Chava, been conceived and gave birth to Cain, Ba'u Sha'ata, and in that hour, in the same time, Osifat lemeiled, she gave birth again. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Vatosef laledet, she continued giving birth. It doesn't written she gave birth again. Vatosef means she add up another birth. She gave birth again. V'haya Cain ohev la'avod adama. Cain loved working the ground, means plowing, seeding, harvesting, lizroa, to seed, to plant. Vehevel haya ohev lirot tzon. He loved being a shepherd. He loved the animals. Ze noten mimelachto ma'achil laze. That one gives from his work to feed the other. Veze noten mimlachto ma'achil laze. And the other gives from his work to feed that. Hegi'a lel yud tet shel. Hegi'a lel yom tov shel Pesach. Came the night of the holy day of Pesach, Yudalet Benisan, the evening of the holy day of Pesach. Amar lahem Adam lebanav. Adam said to his children, Beleil ze, in that night, Atidin Israel, in the future, the people of Israel, lehakriv korbanot psachim, are about to sacrifice the sacrifices of Pesach, of Passover. Hakrivu gam atem lifnei borachem. You should also sacrifice in front of your Maker. He was guiding them to hit the jackpot, to win the lottery, to take advantage of that great time in history that people are being answered for sacrificing holy sacrifices. Hevi Cain miyeter ma'achalo. Cain brought leftovers of his food. Klayot zera pishtan. How do you say pishtan?
Grain?
Yeah, but pishtan is a certain kind of grain.
Flax. It says flax.
Flax. Klayot means roasted, like heated up, heated up, seeds, yeah. Seeds of, how you called it? Flax. My short-term memory is like so awful, mamash. Thank God I remember the names of my family. It's, you know what? I think that it's based on trauma. I think that those things are coming from trauma, and because I'm a very sensitive person in my personality, and a lot of things like scarred me, like I was overwhelmed from those. I see that with time, like I'm like, I have like shorts in connection in short-term memory. Long-term memory, I think that I'm quite all right. Still, maybe if I'll work on my trauma, I'll be healed, and then things will come back to function. I think from what I see that it's trauma that is like when I'm under a lot of stress, then I forget a lot more. And I did experience a lot of things that were like, for me as a person, were like, definitely too much. Like definitely I felt that it was too much.
It's too much.
Vehevi Hevel, and Hevel brought mi bechorot sono, the firstborns of his animals, umichelvehen, and from their milk, kvasim, sheep, shelo nigzezu letzemer, that their wool was never cut, was never cut. So you see that he put thought, dedication, sacrifice, he invested, he brought good quality products, not burnt leftovers of something that is like not the most sweetest and not the most nurturing and not the most beautiful, just like a seed. ונתעב מנחת קין, and the offering of Cain was rejected, was disputed. ונרצית מנחת הבל, and the offering of Hevel was accepted, was wanted. שנאמר, that the verse said, וישע השם אל הבל ואל מנחתו. Hashem answered, Hashem accepted the offering of Hevel and Hevel himself. Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha Omer, Rabbi Yoshua ben Korcha said, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Al yit'arvu minchat Cain veHevel leolam. The offering of Cain and the offering of Hevel should not be eternally mixed, ever mixed. That's the prohibition of shatnez. They are not allowed to be mixed. Wool and flax are not allowed to be mixed, ever. The nature is so opposite, the offering was so opposite that it stamped, it's imprinted its intention into the future. The actions of those huge souls set a path for the future, set a destiny for the future. Shema chas v'shalom yit'arvu be'ereg bad, that they won't, God forbid, mix while creating a fabric, sewing, or how you say, making,
spinning, making of the yarn.
Spinning the fabric, the yarn. One second. כן, בבקשה. לילה טוב, אני מצלם ומקליט. אבל זה כל פעם שאני מצלם ומקליט. לא, כן, דבר, סיים. מה? כל היום אנחנו ביחד, מבוקר עד ערב, ותמיד כשאני מלמד, כולם צריכים לנחות אחד אחרי השני. אני מבין, אבל צריך או להגיד לילה טוב לפני, או אחרי. לא כשאני מצלם כי צריך להגיד לילה טוב. אני גם קיים. אוקיי? את זה? למה שאני אתן לך את זה? זה של אמא. אמא אמרה לתת לך את זה? לא. אתה יכול לקחת את זה, אבל תבקש ממנה רשות על זה. לסגור פה בבקשה את הדלת. שנאמר, that the verse said, לא תלבש שעטנז, you will not wear those two kinds together. They call שעטנז. That prohibition is called שעטנז. אפילו היא מורכבת, לא יעלו עליך. Even when it's mixed, you cannot wear them together. Means you cannot blend those two materials together and make a string and to mix it in a way for them to mix. There's no way to mix them. Not when they're separated, different strings, or if it's mixed as well, the prohibition stands in its place.
So how does it work? Sorry, how does it work with modern clothing?
You need to check what you buy. You need to check.
So
you are not wearing wool and flax together, or all the other different prohibitions. It's not only pishtan.
So what about wool and cotton? Because many of in modern
carbon
all have.
Carbon is plastic.
No. What did I say?
Carbon.
I forgot what I said. Not carbon.
Wool.
Not carbon. Wool and cotton.
Cotton, definitely a prohibition. If it's wool and cotton, it's definitely a prohibition. Again, we're not mixing them. When we say flax, it's true that we're talking about a certain kind of seed, but it became general. It's seeds. So you cannot mix them. But again, on all the halachot, we need to put our minds into learning the halacha inside the book. You need to open it, you need to check it, you need to, if really a person wants to expand his knowledge, he needs to search inside. That the verse said, Ubeged kil'aim, a mixed clothing, she'atnez lo ya'ale alecha, that is made out of flax and wool, or those kinds of forbidden seeds and wool, won't be dressed. Rabbi Tzadok Omer, Rabbi Tzadok is saying, Nichnesa kin'a v'sin'a gdola, huge jealousy and hatred entered to the heart, belibo shel Cain, of Cain, al shenitratzet minchato shel Hevel, for Hevel's offering to be accepted. Instead of understanding the lesson and correcting his attributes and fixing his ways, he goes to the dark side, to the negative side, to the angry side. Velo od, and not only that, אלא שהייתה אשתו תאומתו, also that his wife, his twin, יפה בנשים, was the most beautiful one of them. The woman of Hevel was more beautiful than the woman of Cain. Amar, so Cain said to himself, Ani eherog et Hevel achi, I will kill Hevel my brother, ve'ekach et ishto, and will take his wife. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Vayomer Cain el Hevel achiv. Cain said to Hevel achiv, his brother. He told him. What he told? Soon we'll see. Vahi biyotam basadeh, when they were in the field. Ve'en basadeh ela ha'isha. The word in the field is talking about the woman. That women were compared to the field. Shehaisha nimshela kasadeh. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Ki ha'adam etz hasadeh. The man, he is the tree of the field. So he is the tree and she is the field. He is the tree that is growing from the field. He is the tree, as we said, and she is the field, the garden. Lakach ha'even, Cain took the rock, he took a stone, v'teba'o b'mitzcho shel Hevel, and drowned it into the forehead of Hevel. He threw it, or he hit him with it so strongly that it went inside to the skull of Hevel. V'harago, and he killed him. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Vayakom Cain el Hevel achiv vayargeu. Cain stood up towards Hevel, his brother, and killed him. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Rabbi Yochanan said, Lo haya yodea Cain, Cain didn't know שהנסתרות גלויים לפני המקום, that the hidden things are known and revealed to the Maker. Masa, so what did he do? Natal et nivlato shel achiv, took the body, the dead body of his brother, vechafar, and digged, vetaman oto ba'aretz, and put him inside the ground, under the ground, hid him. Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so the Maker told him, Hevel achicha, where's Hevel, your brother? Amar lefanav, so Cain told him, Ribono shel olam, the Master of the universe, Shomer sadeh v'kerem samtani, you put me to be the guard of the field and the vine. Shomer achi lo samtani, you never appointed me to watch over my brother. I'm not appointed about where he is at. Shene'emar, that the verse said, Hashomer achi anochi, am I my brother keeper? Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Maker told him, Haratzachta, have you killed him? Have you murdered him? Gam shamati, I also heard, Hashem said, Kol dameh achecha tzoakim elai, the voice, plural, voices, of your brother shouting, plural, to me, calling me. Voices, voices. Kevan sheshama Cain hadavar nivhal. Because that means when Cain heard that thing, he got scared, terrified. Ve'orero, and Hashem cursed him, שיהיה נודד בארץ, that he will wander from one place on the land to another, that he won't be settled, על שפיכות דמים, on bloodshed, ועל מות רע, and on the death of a friend, on killing a brother. אמר קין לפניו, Cain told Hashem, ריבון העולם, the master of the universe, גדול עווני מנשוא, my crime is too heavy to carry, שאין בו כפרה, that there's no atonement to it, there's no way to fix something like that. How will a person fix the death of another that could have had children and now won't have? Like, how can you fix it? ונחשב לו הדבר הזה כתשובה. And when he said that, he admitted he expressed his realization of the heaviness or how horrible his sin was. He accepted responsibility, full responsibility on his crime. So it was considered for him as atonement, as tshuva. That the verse said, Gadol avoni minso, my crime is too heavy to carry, velo od ela. And not only that, he said those words, he said another thing, ela, ya'amod echad ba'aretz, one person will stand and will say, Ve'yazkir et shimcha gadol vayargeni, will mention your holy name and will kill me. Cain admitted that he was deserved death. He realized that someone in the name of Hashem can execute him, can kill him for his crime. So that acceptance of reality considered tshuva. Masa kadosh baruch hu. So the merciful Maker, what did he do? Natal ot achat, took one letter, mikaf bet otiyot shebatorah, from the 22 letters of the Torah, vekatav, and he wrote, al zro'o shel Cain, on the arm of Cain, shelo yareg, that he won't be killed. Shene'emar, that the verse said, vayasem Hashem leKain ot, and Hashem put on Cain a sign, a letter. Sign and a letter are the same word, ot. Our correction is the tefillin, that when we put tefillin, they are being called ot. They are a sign for the covenant, for the connection we have, and we put it on our arms. Hakelev, the dog, shaya meshamer tzono shel hevel, that was watching over the flock, the animals of Hevel, hu haya shomro, he was protecting Cain, mikol chayat hasadeh ume'of hashamayim, from all animals of the field. Oh, no, not Cain. Hu haya shomro, he was protecting Hevel. It doesn't written here who, so I assumed, but actually he was watching over the body of his dead master. Haya shomro mikol chayat hasadeh ume'of hashamayim, from all the animals of the field and the birds in the sky. Vehayu Adam ve'ozro, and Adam and his helper, means his wife, yoshvim ubochim, sitting and crying, umit'ablim alav, and mourning, crying for their child. Ve'lo hayu yod'im ma la'asot leHevel, and they didn't know how to treat Hevel. They didn't know to bury, they didn't know anything. Shelo hayu noagim bikvura, because they never buried before. They didn't have an experience of what to do with the dead. Then what Hashem did? Ba orev echad shemet lo echad michaverav, came one raven that one of his friends died. לקח אותו, the raven took his dead friend, וחפר בארץ, and digged a hole in the ground, ותמנה לעיניהם, and he put his dead friend, raven, inside that hole, in front of their eyes. אמר אדם, Adam said, כעורב אני עושה. As the raven, I will do. Immediately he got the message, he understood the lesson. מיד לקח נבלתו של הבל, took the dead body of הבל, וחפר בארץ, digged a hole in the ground, ותמנה, and buried it. ושילם הקדוש ברוך הוא שכר טוב לעורבים בעולם הזה. And the maker... צריך משהו? היי ביי. ושילם הקדוש ברוך הוא, and the maker paid שכר טוב, good, nice reward to the ravens in this world. ומה שכר נתן להם? What is the reward he gave them to the ravens? כשהם מולידים את בניהם, when they give birth to their babies, to their chicks, רואים אותן לבנים ובורחים מפניהם. They see them as white, and they're running away from them. The big birds, the parents, running away from their children. וסבורים שהם בני נחש, because they think that those white chicks are the children of the snake. They cannot recognize their children as their own, and they're running away. והקדוש ברוך הוא נותן להם מזונם, and the maker is feeding them. He's taking care of those chicks. בלא מחסור, without no lacking, he feeds them perfectly. ולא עוד, and not only that, אלא שהם קוראים ליתן מטר על הארץ, that they are the ones to call before the rain comes down to the ground. והקדוש ברוך הוא עונה אותן, and the maker is answering them. שנאמר, that the verse said in Tehillim, נותן לבהמה לחמה, the maker feeds the animals their bread, לבני עורב אשר יקראו, to the children of ravens that are calling when they call. So you see that their call, their request for rain is being answered.